Hello everyone. Let's get started with our task 2 for this week. We are looking to write a memo that convinces or looks for new creative ideas to encourage teachers, students, and parents to implement online courses. So let's get started doing that. We'll start with our header. So to school district community. Yeah, the school district community because it is being read by everyone. From me, technology plan and online courses. Okay, let's make it look a little fancy with some formatting here. Let's add our little line. And we're good to go with the memo proper. Alright, so we need to start first with our introduction. Be aware, online courses provide an exciting new alternative to traditional instruction. Certainly many benefits to them. Oh, to bring the possibility to our district. Below, outlined an advocacy plan that will to engage all stakeholders teachers, parents, and students in the rollout of this program. Alright, so we've got a short introduction there. We'll come back and touch up on that later, but what I really want to get to is the ideas. Um, First things first is probably engaging, well, not only teachers, but they're obviously they're important too, but looking at students and their engagement and mostly how to train them how to succeed in online courses because it's a little bit different than um, traditional schooling. So what I'm wondering and what I'll background check here is how other schools have prepared for online courses. Because what I'm contemplating is a sort of summer learning academy where they take 2 or 3 weeks to talk about this explicit instruction and skills you need to succeed in online courses, as well as familiarize themselves with all the tools that their teachers might be using. Um, so, do schools prepare students for online courses? Okay, so we might need a few tabs here to help out. Okay, so um, guidelines for students here, but nothing really that tells us about it. How schools implement things. So maybe a different search term here might be helpful. So open a few new tabs here. So hopefully by looking at these course catalogs we can figure out how they get people involved. Okay, so nothing there that helps us out. So I'm kind of wondering what these programs might entail as well. Okay, so it talks about the courses, but not how necessarily they instruct students in there. And I think that's probably the most valuable portion, especially since some data from our notes shows that online learning can lose some students. And some of that probably comes from not understanding how to correctly implement technology. So let's go ahead and add that idea in here. So our notes showed that um, males, black, the black students, and other people had trouble adjusting to online courses. To engage all students, but especially those. Okay, and males. That should say males. The school will institute a. Well, let's cite that source first. Okay, so let's go back to that so we're able to cite it. Zoo and Jaggers 2014. So the purpose of the academy is to put together is to help build the skills that students will need to succeed in online courses. Um, so in the instructional tools and study skills necessary for success in online courses. So we did look at some links that talked about in our notes that talked about what kind of skills those might be. Mm, let's come back to the notes here, or a search here. So these skills, according to this course, will include time management, communication, and technical skills. This course, rather, the course will include instruction in time management, communication, and okay, let's edit that some specifically. This course will include instruction in time management, communication, and technical skills needed to operate hardware and software chosen for our courses. Through such instruction, that students will become, or students will become familiar online with the challenges or with the differences that online learning presents, or with the challenges, I suppose. Through such instruction that students will become familiar with the challenges that online learning can present, with these guidelines for success established. It is our hope that students be much more prepared, succeed in an online environment. Okay. Now, we might come back and flesh that out a little bit later, but I want to turn our attention now to teachers. One thing that we noticed in our notes is that teachers um, are one of the big concerns that teachers had is that they don't really believe that students have the self-confidence or the self-discipline to um, work through online courses. And I think the online academy does, or the summer learning academy that we just outlined in the previous paragraph, does some to address that. But we also want to work on some additional teacher concerns as well. So let's include some of that in the memo. Okay. In terms of engaging teachers, there's much work that needs to be done. Implementing instruction. So probably the biggest concern of teachers let's cite that as well. So Picciano and Seaman 2007. All right. The Summer Learning Academy again is designed to address that concern. Teachers also face the challenge of creating and implementing successful online instruction. Let's pause here and take a short break. Okay, so we left off talking about teachers and what they need to create and implement successful online courses. Naturally, PD has got to be part of that equation, but that's not new or creative, so it's not something we can include here, but we do have to address it. Face-to-face, online, and right. However, I think what is crucial here is, especially for teachers who are experienced and kind of set in their ways, is to incentivize the creation of um, online courses and to reward the creation of successful ones. So what I want to look at a little bit in background check is some kind of incentive system. So merit pay for the online courses and merit pay for just creating them. So let's see if we can background check that some. Let's close the tabs we don't need. Let's take a look at some of these. Right. Okay, so there's obviously merit pay is left for change. We know that much. Okay. Uh, so we could include incentives for collaboration in building these online courses. Just want to check and make sure my mic is working. Okay, it's still test reading there. All right. So merit pay is definitely an option here. So of course there's options in our editorial against merit pay, but it was worth looking at. Um, how to make it work. Okay, so we're seeing some improvement with merit pay here. Okay, so hmm, framing pay as a loss, or framing merit pay as a loss thing, it's really stand to lose income seems to be more effective, at least in this district. Okay, so definitely worth looking at. And granted, this is a pretty conservative website, but doesn't mean the data is any less useful. Um, but I think the merit pay, or at least the incentive for um, creating online courses, is useful here. So not necessarily new in the fact that it's a new and brand new idea, but tying it to the creation of materials might be helpful here. So let's figure out how to include that into the memo. Okay. So another part of integrating teachers into program, what? Providing schedule. So let's reread that. So another part of integrating teachers into the program role will be providing off-schedule stipends for the creation of courses in which students perform better on standardized testing than their offline peers. Um, this encourages, obviously, this would encourage students or teachers to develop quality programs and to do their best to um, research best practices and to actually use the professional development that we give them. So I think that's certainly useful here. And also make sure you use such a system makes sure that your professional development dollars, assuming they were spent well in the first place on good and appropriate programs, that the program actually stays alive and goes into practice in the district as well. So um, you've got several layers here. You've got the PD that happens, and then merit pay for actually using what you were supposed to be using anyway. And student outcomes. Okay. We also need to figure out a way to get parents on board. Um, just want to make sure we're hitting the purpose of the menu or the memo real quick. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about parents and what we can do to sell them. One, I didn't really research much of any parent objections to online courses or any issues that parents would have had. So let's see if we can find something here. Click new window, not new tab. Okay. Well, any infographic, nothing substantive we can include. Let's close the tabs we don't need. Okay. So some objections are that, of course, if they're required, that um, parents may not wish their students to have that responsibility of a laptop. I don't want to laugh off that concern, but um, I think I do a little bit. I don't know how parents could expect their child to get along without exposure to technology here. Um, Objections to homeschooling here. Um, Actually, now that I think about it, one of our sources might help out here. I'm looking for Kansas. Actually, that was a PDF we downloaded, so let's go to our Downloads tab. Let's take a look at this guy. All right, so the big deal was, let's look at some myths and concerns on page 10. 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Okay. Alright, so we've hit motivation some. So I guess one objection might be the socialization piece. If students are working online, obviously they're not socialized the same way. Um, hmm. There's poor discrimination. Okay. And that it may cost more facilities and things like that. All right. So I think the big myth we want to attack is probably the equality, and as well the other objection is the socialization and segregation things as well. Um, but we need a creative way to sell parents on that. So if our mission is to I assume just tell parents why, or to kind of explain the marketing to parents. And that's what we've got to do. So we've got to explain why online courses are a good idea. To do that, we can do a few things. Of course, there's coming in and having them take sample courses and piloting that. Um, so let's start that. Let's background check that a little bit. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see what IB is doing here. I hate it when I click on the wrong thing. Let's add that too. Parent online curriculum night. How's that sound? This newspaper article might help me out here, as well as this flyer. So we can see that these ideas might be in place somewhere else, and see what we can modify. Okay, so giving parents the opportunity to look at curriculums and things like that. Um, hmm. But I think part of the selling point, again, has to be that parents see these. I want to see if there's any other examples of parents using things. So let's look at a few more things. Um, let's try narrowing to just online curriculum night. This might be a little more fruitful. Okay, so their online curriculum night is kind of just um, online tour of their website and things like that. It's a cool way to do it, but I'm looking for something that shows where parents get the opportunity to use programs. Although the blogging here and something is useful. But in any case, the common ingredient in curriculum nights here is that students have the or parents have the opportunity to review curriculum and meet teachers and things like that. I don't. I think one way to um, get parents on board is to allow them to do something similar by auditing these online courses, or at least participating in online lessons to see what they're all about. So let's see if we can add that into our memo. Take a short break for the moment. Okay, we're back. So furthermore, we also need to parents also need to be made aware of and sold of the on the utility and benefits of online courses. This process can be accomplished, or this goal rather, in a number of ways. Firstly, um, think we've already got the summer academy going. Maybe a parent night where they kind of get the breakdown of the skills is necessary too, and then tie that to this online sort of curriculum night. Um, so we, where they kind of receive the short. So at this seminar, they receive the short version of what their students are about to talk about study skills and work environments and things like that. Secondly, during the traditional parents should also have the ability to explore materials and lessons such as videos used during the online courses. Interact with. This may include instructional videos, sample discussion board posts, or other products that students have created. Both of these programs be instrumental in assuring parents helping parents understand the new responsibilities that their students face. Build support for online classes. Okay. Um, so let's go back and talk a little bit about a conclusion here. Then we'll see if we can go back and edit and refine some of our ideas. Furthermore, parents also need to be made aware of and convinced of Okay, so let's wrap up the conclusion. All of these programs Okay. Rather, our biggest or largest implementing line courses. B2, increase stakeholder involvement. Implementing programs such as a academy, incentives for designed online courses, and parent curriculum nights. To inform stakeholders online instruction can provide. Through implementing programs such as some academy incentives for online courses and curriculum nights, we can help inform stakeholders of the benefits that online instruction can provide. Such measures are necessary to ensure that students are afforded educational opportunity. Alright, let's take some time to edit and reread and see what we can rework and flesh out. New methodology. Help to engage all stakeholders, teachers, parents, and students. That's worded awkwardly. Below, we have outlined an advocacy plan that will help to engage all of our stakeholders, teachers, parents, and students, in the rollout of this plan. Like implementation sounds a little more professional. Engage all students, especially, let's correct that first. Some Learning Academy and instruct students in the instructional tools. Students regarding the instructional tools. Success non-courses. Specifically, this course will include instruction, time management, communication, technical skills needed to operate the hardware and software for our chosen for our courses. Through this instruction, that students will become familiar with the challenges that online learning can present. These guidelines for success established. I hope the students will be much more prepared to succeed in the online environment. Okay. In terms of engaging teachers, there's much work that needs to be done implementing online instruction. Probably the biggest concern of teachers is that students may lack the self-discipline necessary to succeed in online courses. Some Learning Academy is designed to address that concern. As we've already addressed it. However, teachers also face the challenge of creating and implementing successful online courses. Naturally, professional development will be provided in a number of formats to accomplish to doing so. Teachers into the program rollout will be program implementation. Let's stick with rollout. We've already used implementing a little bit earlier. Alright, pay incentivize teachers to create high quality programs by way of incorporating skills developed during professional development. Skills. Or skills they gained during professional development opportunities. Teacher involvement, performance. Thereby positively affecting student outcomes. That sounds a little cleaner. Okay. Furthermore, parents also are aware of, convinced of, the utility and benefits of online courses. This goal can be accomplished in a number of ways. Cannot choose to attend an informational seminar dealing with study skills and work environment necessary for success in online courses. To their students are participating effectively in the online courses. Secondly, during the curriculum offered by the school, parents should not only be able to access traditional instructional materials, but also have the chance to preview and interact with instructional tools used in online courses. This may include videos, sample discussion board posts, products that students have created. Both these programs can be both of these events help the students understand the new responsibilities their student face and will help to build support for online classes. Our change in the online courses will be to increase to educator stakeholders about their utility. Okay, I think we've got a sound memo here. We'll go ahead and peers who receive traditional education. Maybe that's a better way to save that. That's professional development will be a number of formats. Another part of integrating teachers into the program. Rollout will be providing all scheduled stipends for the creation of courses in which better. I'll schedule stipends for the creation of exceptional online courses. Um, let's save that. These courses can be defined as those in which perform better on standardized testing than their peers enrolled in traditional courses. This sort of merit pay incentivizes teachers to create high quality programs by that sounds a little cleaner, a little more convincing. All right. I think we've got ourselves a solid memo here. Let's do some spell checking. All right. And I think we are good to go. That is my memo for today. Thank you for watching.